What's up, guys? Rick from DFS On Demand here with the GC Cup preview for the WGC Mexico. Before we get into that, let's look back at last week. It was the Genesis Open, and here was the lineup we rolled out, and we finally, I don't want to say, we cashed in this thing, right? I think we finished 36th. Firmly within the cut line. Every time we've made a cut this year, it's been like 64th, 65th. So firmly within the cut line here. Still have not tallied a top 25. We are a mediocre at best PGA Tour player, if that's what we were. Making a handful of cuts, but no top 25s. But here's the lineup that we rolled out last week. It was Rafa Cabrera Bello, Paul Casey, Tony Finau, Terrell Hatton, Charles Howell, Matt Kuchar. I really liked this lineup when I created it. I liked it when the ownership was posted, when this thing started, and I still like it now, which I think passes a pretty good test for me. I like the construction as basically 6 really balanced guys with an emphasis on trying to get 6 of 6 through. In a contest of only 138 teams, getting 6 of 6 through any given week is going to be essential. And if you get 6 of 6 through, you're basically guaranteed a top 25, I would assume, on a weekly basis, if not much, much better. Unfortunately, this was only a 5 of 6 lineup. Terrell Hatton, a 1 under first round, and then he kind of punted it all away in round 2 with a 4 over 75. I'll just get it out of the way now because we are going to play Hatton again this week. I did not think he played as bad as his final score indicated, and I was following him along. I was following along with him all week. He really just had basically, I don't know, 4 or 5 bad holes to inflate his number in the second round. And then once he was on the wrong side of the cut line, you could kind of tell he was pressing a little bit, and he gave a couple more back. But basically that damage was all in like a 6 or 7 hole stretch. Outside of that, he played pretty well. So we're gonna rock him again this week. But otherwise, to see the ownership pretty evenly distributed from 11% to 21%, with Tony Finau being our highest owned golfer, that's the type of lineups I want to continue to construct. I don't want to get guys in the 30% range. I probably don't need to go down and get guys 3, 4, 5% owned in something like this. So this is a pretty balanced lineup that I like the ownership here. Unfortunately, this lineup just kind of got worse as the week went on. You can kind of see, so just looking at the final round for these guys, Bello was even, Casey was 1 over, Finau was 1 over, Charles Howell was 2 under, and Kuchar was even. So basically 6 guys playing even par over the course of the final round is not ideal. That stalls you out. That loses you spots. Finau drops back. Casey drops back. Charles Howell is the only one who kind of charged for me, and it was a very lame charge, 2 under on Sunday. So let's take a look at the winning lineup and how we compare here. The winning lineup was Charles Howell, Jason Kokrak, Rory McIlroy, Adam Scott, Cam Smith, Nick Taylor. The thing that sticks out at me here is, of course, it's a 6 of 6, but only 3 guys in the top 10 didn't have the winner, didn't have the second place finisher, didn't have the third place finisher. Okay, Rory with a T4 was the best finish here. 100.5 DraftKings points from Rory, and the 1.4% owned Nick Taylor coming in a T33. So I don't mind this lineup, quite honestly. I think it has a really good buy back into Adam Scott after he misses the cut in the previous week. He goes back in and gets him at 14.5%. I think that was pretty savvy. Charles Howell was also in my lineup. I thought that was pretty savvy. And he got a stud under 15%, Rory. So otherwise did pretty well. Got 6 of 6 through, and you can see the final round for the winner was a net, let's see, that's 1 under, 3 under. Actually, Adam Scott kind of punted this away. This hurts his stats. That's 2 over. Cam Smith as well. 5 over, 6 over. Wow, so his guys were 6 over on Sunday, and he still goes out and wins this thing. That shows you the carnage that we saw out there. I'm shocked to be reading that right now, but he still hangs on and wins it. So where does that put us for the season? Well, we are still pretty much towards the bottom of this list, but we are now 127th out of a possible 144, I believe is the number. But this was our highest scoring week. We scored 19 GC Cup points. Our previous high before that was literally week 1 back at the Century Tournament of Champions, 5.4. So we're continuing to get our feet underneath of us. We are going to go back to a similar base strategy this week, although I don't know if I love it. So here's the lineup that we're going to roll out this week. And again, you'll see it's kind of a balanced lineup from a salary standpoint. But I'm not sure that that's necessarily the route to go in a no-cut week. So our philosophy was, hey, get 6 guys who can potentially make the cut and go from there and get 6 of 6 through. But everyone's going to make the cut this week, so maybe this is not a good strategy. But I still like this lineup. If you go watch the DFS video for this week, big in on Xander, big in on Matsuyama. I'm happy I was able to get both of those guys. And then the next 3 I just feel are really, really underpriced in this field. I know there's a lot of studs, but Matt Kuchar, and I mean, I can click his game logs here. Matt Kuchar, his last 6 starts have been win, T19, win, T4, T22, T28. He is actually one of the hottest players on the planet since Mayakoba, or even since the Tournament of Champions. For him to be $7,700 is incorrect. His peers here are, Billy Horschel's the same price. Matt Fitzpatrick is $100 cheaper. Ian Poulter's $200 cheaper. That just doesn't make sense, so we have to plug him in. Tommy Fleetwood, similarly, $8,200. Tommy Fleetwood is a kind of guy I do like in a no-cut event. We saw, at the U.S. Open, I think it was on Saturday last year, like this guy can get absolutely scorching hot. He can put a bunch of birdies together, which is what we want to see in this no-cut event. Leishman, I thought, was underpriced. And then Hatton was the guy. I wrestled with this for a while, but decided that I had to roll him out again. I did not want to be the guy who, just because he missed one cut, give up on Hatton, who I liked last week, so why would I not like him this week? In fact, he actually has, in the 2 WGC events here in Mexico, the last 2 years, I think he's got a 15th and a 10th, so he's played well here. Outside of the missed cut, which I mentioned was really just a couple of bad holes, he's been playing really well. So I could not have slept if I did not plug Hatton into this lineup. So we'll give him one more crack at it. So that's what it ends up being. Let me know what you think of this. How are you approaching this no-cut event? Obviously, we're not trying to get guys to make it through to the weekend because everyone will. Are you going with birdie makers? Are you going with high upside guys, safe guys? Let me know what you're doing. Tweet me. It's at DFS On Demand, or leave a comment below. See ya.